By the end of the day today, you will walk away with the ability to ensure that all of your snack choices keep you sub 2 pounds per day and under $20 a day for your budget. Now, I'm no nutritionist, so don't take this as a nutrition video, but we are going to look at calories, we're going to look at cost, and we're going to look at weight. They say that it takes between 2,500 and 4,500 calories per day for a backpacker to refresh their body and feed the machine that we are. And for me, I found that to be closer to 2,800, between 2,800 and 3,000. That's my kind of threshold. But for the sake of the math today, we're going to look at bang in the middle of that. We're going to say 3,500 calories is what we want to hit every day. We need to understand how we're going to fit that 3,500 calories into 2 pounds, or 907 grams for us metric folk up in Canada. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take that 3,500 calories and I'm going to divide it by the 907 grams. That's going to give me a ratio of how many calories to grams I'm looking for to keep myself under that 2 pound kind of limit. And I'm going to round that up to 4, just for the sake of making life simple. Because if I get more than the threshold of 3.8 calories per gram, then I'm going to end up with a lighter food ration for that day. So let's take a look at the snacks that I picked up and see how I did. Start with the honey stinger. I love these things. They're fantastic. I like the taste. They have 2 or 3 flavors. They're great. However, let's see if they fit my weight budget of 2 pounds with that ratio of 4:1 for calories to gram. The easiest way to do that in the superstore or the market or wherever you are is to take a look at the label on the back. And if you look at that label, it's going to give you a serving size and it's going to give you a number of calories for that serving size. And we know that our ratio is 4:1. So if I take my serving size for this, it's 30 grams, and I multiply it by 4, that gives me 120 grams. If that number is less than the number of calories, then I know I have a calorie-dense food that has more than 4 calories to every 1 gram. What's my grams for a single serving? Multiply it by 4, and if it's less than your calories for that single serving, you know that fits within your 2 pound per day budget. In this case, it's 140 calories for this honey stinger, so my 30 gram weight times 4 is 120, which means this fits really well inside that weight kind of budget that I have for 2 pounds a day. Let's look at the trail mix, which is another one of my favorites. This one has a serving size of 50 grams and a calorie count per serving of 250 calories. I don't really need to do the math, but I will. The 50 grams of a serving size multiplied by 4 is 200 grams. And the number of calories per that size is 250. So I know that my ratio is greater than 4 calories per gram. So this one also fits my weight budget for calories and grams. And finally, I would call this one of my vices. These are Twizzlers, and I love them. They are a problem for me. But let's see how these fit into my weight calculation. This serving size says it is a 36 gram serving size, and the number of calories per serving size is 120. Now, if I take that 36 times 4, it's more than 120, because 30 times 4 is 120, which means this is actually heavier per calorie than the other foods that I just looked at. And this one, if I were to get all my calories from licorice, I would be more than 2 pounds. I would also weigh much more than 2 pounds. If 3,500 calories is equal to 910 grams is equal to $20 or 2,000 pennies, then what that roughly means is that 910 grams is the same as 2,000 pennies or better. So we can get a quick ratio of how many grams go into a dollar, or how many dollars represent how many grams to keep our threshold under $20 a day. For me, when I do the math, that means that I roughly have 45 grams per dollar. And I'm gonna round that up to 50 grams per dollar because that's a better value than 45, and it is easier math, really. And if my metric is 50 grams per dollar, then that means it's the same ratio as 100 grams for $2, which makes the math really easy. So let's look at that, how that plays out with the snacks that we talked about. The honey stinger cost me $2, $1.98, and it is 30 grams. I don't need to do the math. I realize that I spend way more than $2 per 100 grams because I'm spending 30 grams for $2, so I'm getting way less weight. I don't even need to do the math. This does not fit my budget for lightweight snacks. Next, we'll look at the trail mix. This one is 415 grams, and I'm paying $5.50 for it. I don't even need to do the math. I know that $5.50 is way less than double of 415 grams. So that one fits my budget realistically. The next one is the licorice, the Twizzlers. Now this one cost me $1.78, roughly $1.80, and represents 90 grams, which actually fits the dollar budget, even though it was way over on the weight budget. So that leaves us with the fight of, do I bring the Twizzlers or not? Thinking about this approach, I realized I should start looking at the meals that I have, because not just snacks, but the meals represent a whole bunch of this. So I took what is my favorite backcountry meal, commercially made backcountry meal. This is the Flat Out Feasts Cajun Jamaica Jicama pork skillet. It's so good. And it is 570 calories. It weighs 104 grams, and it costs like 18 bucks. So instantly you know right away that this meal does not allow for that $20 a day budget, because it only leaves $2 for the other 3,000 calories that would make that up. So there's no way that this would allow it, but it's still really good. In contrast, the staple in the backpacking community is ramen. And this is a different story. This one's 460 grams and it weighs 100 grams. So it still fits that 4-to-1 ratio for calories to grams, but it only costs like $1. So I'm getting 460 calories in 100 grams for $1. I mentioned earlier, I'm no nutritionist, but I do know where you can get meals that a nutritionist has vetted that fit this $20 per day and £2 per day budget. If you go to backcountryfoodie.com, they have a whole host of recipes and meals that you can buy. If you're in the States, they don't ship to Canada, but they're a great resource for recipes and ideas and thoughts. And I subscribe to them no matter what, because they're a fantastic resource. Anyways, go to backcountryfoodie.com and check them out. I'm not affiliated. I don't get anything from them. They don't even know I'm doing this. I don't know them. They don't know me. But they're a fantastic resource to get you some great ideas and some great meals out in the backcountry that are cheap and ultralight. If you're still watching this, my name's Nathan. This is Backpacker-ish. Like, comment, subscribe, or don't, whatever.